Hello, and welcome to Day 4 of EDU 3370. I know you've been really busy. You've got 2 days left with a lot of power-packed things to do. You have 2 basic assignments today. Your discussion forum, which you know how to do. Remember your word count and keep it conversational. And Part 2 and the last part of the case study, monitoring reading progress. So let's talk about the readings. So for readings today, you have intervention ideas 1, 2, and 3. These will help you with creating the hypothetical interventions that you use with Garrett so that you can report those on the second part of the case study. Also, you will need to read the case study part 2 information. You won't need all of it. All of the major components are included, but you only need the information from the major component that you chose to work from. So in that information, I have given you 8 pieces of data. So it could be like 13 out of 20. Now that 13 out of 20 could be anything that you choose. So let's say you chose comprehension, and that particular day with the questions that you were focusing on that had to do with maybe inferencing, Garrett got 13 out of 20 correct that day. Then the next day you did something else having to do with inferencing, and he got 15 out of 20 that day. So that is your data. Your data can fit anything that you are trying to do. So maybe if it's phonics, it could be flashcards with digraphs of SH and CH, and those were the flashcards that Garrett got correct. Or if it's fluency, it's words per minute, vocabulary, it can be meanings of words, whatever you choose, but that is your data. Those are the numbers, okay? And then also underneath that is assessment data. So then after the 8 interventions that you hypothetically give Garrett, then those are his assessments after the interventions. So you'll get some data on that as well. Then you have videos. So the 2 videos are how to choose the right tier 2 and 3 interventions. Again, this is going to help you with your case study, and struggling high school readers solution, and that also may help you with your case study if you're working with secondary students. Alright, so we talked about your 2 assignments and what is coming up. So now let's look in detail about the case study monitoring reading progress part 2. So we've talked about the sheet that you're going to look at with all the data and information. So because we're doing this in such a short amount of time, we're giving you hypothetical information. If you were in a class that was stretched over a semester, you would actually be doing this with a student. But we're trying to make it convenient for you, so we're giving you the information and asking you basically to interpret that information. So your journal is basically the information that I gave you with the data points in it. So it doesn't include anecdotal notes. What happened during those times that you met with Garrett? So you're going to have to make that up. When you met with him, was he cooperative? Did he want to read the sessions? How did the readings go? Did he struggle through them with the numbers that he got right? What were the main points of things that he may have missed? So you're going to have to take the information that you read from your articles and kind of embellish a little bit on the information for Garrett. How did he react to the interventions? And then how did you use the information in each intervention to drive the instruction for the next one? So what did you learn in intervention 2 that helped you for intervention 3? Again, you'll have to use part of what you learned from your readings in order to sort of fill in the gaps on this. Then that's your information, but how you're going to write it up is the final project. Now you do not have to number these. It can be a narrative form with some headings, but you're going to start with what specific skill did you work on, Why was it chosen? So you're going to use the information from your background and plan. Then you're going to write a detailed description of what you worked on with Garrett in each of those sessions. I gave you the data, you fill in the details. What additional difficulties did you see? Was Garrett cooperative? Did he want to do it? Did he have any other language or speech issues or anything like that that may have come up? Again, your decision. How do you believe Garrett responded to the interventions? Be descriptive on this. And then using the data from the implementation, you will need to make a graph of your choice, so it can be a bar graph, a line graph, whatever graph you choose, displaying the progress or lack of that Garrett has made. So I would suggest graphing the beginning test results and the end test results on a graph so that you can see the progress or lack of, and graphing the 8 sessions so that you can also see that particular progress. Next, if you were the classroom teacher for Garrett, what types of accommodations or modifications would you put into place? This includes both instruction, so this is going to include some differentiation discussion, and what would you do for his assessments? In other words, would you have to maybe give his assessments orally to him because he struggles with reading so much? Or perhaps some other type of assessment? And then you're going to write a hypothetical letter to the parent of Garrett addressing what you assess, so talk about the beginning assessments, what things that you planned and you implemented as interventions, the data you collected, and then his final assessments. So provide suggestions for Garrett for the parents working at home with him. Remember to always have your teacher voice as you write this letter. And that is the final write-up for the case study project. Now what you have done is got beginning diagnostic data. You have, from that data, you've researched the interventions and the problems. You have put those interventions into place, monitored the progress through 8 sessions, and now reporting the final piece. So that's how it looks when you put it all together. If you have any questions, please use the blog or email the instructor. Thank you, and have a great day of learning.